So welcome everyone. This is our first Mederos region lunch and learn. I thought it's a great time to do a lunch and learn right in the middle of the day where you can just, grab your lunch whether you're at work or not working, but just a great time to dive in and do some basics. We have so many people joining our team, which is super exciting. And so I'm going to be really keeping these lunch and learns on the first Monday and the third Monday, really to about 30 minutes. And if we go a little bit over, please feel free to jump off if you need to. But welcome. We are going to really start off just kind of recapping an exciting day. On Friday, we had Keith Kochner, speak into our lives. Here in the Alexandria, Virginia area. And I love Keith. He's pretty straight and to the point. And he was talking about really the things that move us forward in life. And he said it really boils down to two things. And that is doingness and knowingness. So basically, knowing what you're doing and then going out and going forth and doing it. And that really applies to anything that we're doing in life. And it definitely applies to Arbonne. And so I know there's many people, many people watching live, but also many people that are going to be watching this recording. And so, Arbonne is all about making a plan and executing a plan. And no matter what level you are at right now in Arbonne, I just want to encourage you that one of the best things that you can do is step out in activity, because this is really what we call an earn while you learn business. And so I love Arbonne. Nobody comes into Arbonne knowing how to really build a large global business. And so that's what the system is set up to do. And it's really set up to learn while you're earning and while you're actually moving into action. And so as you've seen, we have so many different ways to get information. And, right now the Mederos region, and I know there are some people under me that are following some area manager advice. So please take heed to that as well. But right now we're going to be continuing to use right now Andy Arby's site, Building Nations Together. And also what I love about Arbonne is Arbonne itself, its portal is just coming up with some amazing documents that we're going to really be rolling with. And the new CEO that is heading Arbonne, I just love what he's doing, and I love his, the way he's taking, charge of the helm. He actually, you guys, signed up as a consultant. And so he's really trying to figure out the ins and the outs of the business. And so you've got to love an owner who will actually just take charge and do that. And so one of the things, the new documents, that is out there on the source that I want everybody to be aware of. And I'm going to share my screen here. Let me see, go to my desktop. Let's see. Okay. And so when you're going into the source, if you just type in starting our Arbonne journey, you're going to see that this guide comes up. Does everyone give me a thumbs up if you can see my share? Okay, great. This starting your Arbonne journey 90-day getting started guide is amazing. It's like everything we need to run our multi-million-dollar Arbonne business. And what I was told many years ago in Arbonne is you really don't need an upline. Did everyone hear that? You really don't need an upline. You really need a downline. And so I'm not disappearing, but if for some reason, I disappeared off the face of the earth tomorrow, which I'm not doing, this document is really all you need to do to really absorb to go to the top. And so I want you to really go over this. I want you to be familiar with this, and I want you to start rolling this out with the new people that are joining us in the Arbonne journey. And so that is a great document. And when you have a moment too, also Google the new CEO and really find out a little bit more about him and just the amazing things that he is doing as well. And so, so that is a phenomenal tool that we have. And, in terms of getting started in the business, it doesn't matter, you guys, whether you've been in Arbonne for 5 years or 5 minutes. It's all about taking your month, and not just taking your month, because we're in the 1st of July, right? It's looking at your July, August, and September, because we always look and we always book 3 months in advance. They say in Spanish, un hombre preparado valga por dos. They say a prepared man or woman equals 2. And so when you take your calendar and you are actually scheduling and planning 3 months out, you really are setting yourself up for success. And, setting yourself up to have a plan. And all you guys need to do is then work your plan. Doesn't that sound great? Can you imagine walking into your month, how you would feel if all you had to do was really execute your 6 events and anything else that came along was gravy? Give me a thumbs up if that would feel good, right? So it's all about scheduling your activity and then, moving into it. But one of the main things that we can do when we, before we start our month is to set goals. Goals are so important. So right now, if you're a team of 1 or a team of 10, or I know some people on the call who are a team of 20, a shout out to Nick Cole, who is really rocking it there on the West Coast. So basically, what you want to do, and we were strategizing last night on a strategy call, is you want to set your goal, because over and over it's been said that if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. And that doesn't feel very good, does it? Because we don't want nothing. So we have to really think about what we want. And so there's some phenomenal goal setting tools that are on Building Nations Together. So I'm going to click over to the Building Nations Together site. And again, you just go to www.buildingnationstogether.com. And it's going to, be a password there that you need to get into. And that's NVP, the number 2, and B, all lowercase. And so when you look at the top of this toolbar, when you're thinking about goals, we want to grow, right? Goals will grow you. And so I like how Andy did set up this page. It's very intuitive. So click on the goal setting. And these 2 videos that actually talk about goals and talking about goal setting are very powerful. There was a study done years ago at Harvard University, and they really found, they actually took people who graduated and studied them for, over 20 years. And just the power of goal setting is phenomenal. Not only set a goal, but to write it down. And then there's an increased power when you actually carry that goal with you. And so these 2 videos talk to some of the power of setting a goal. But let's click on the monthly laser focus plan. And so when we click on that, this is really talking about setting a goal, setting a good goal, a great goal, and an awesome goal. And so your good goal is a goal that you would really be disappointed if you didn't reach, right? Your great goal is a goal that's going to stretch you, and your awesome goal is going to be that goal that's really going to provide that elasticity and stretch you. And one thing that Keith Kochner said this Friday, and I've heard him say it before, but it really resonates with me, that successful people get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I'm going to say that again. Successful people get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so when we look at setting a goal, we're really growing, right? It's a goal to grow. And so when we're growing, we are going into unknown territory. And so that is only natural that would be uncomfortable. So I highly recommend you really write down getting comfortable with being uncomfortable and really think about that, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just move into action, as our keynote speaker at GTC mentioned. And if you don't know that lingo, checkup line, and they'll tell you a little bit more about that. And so you want to set a good goal, a great goal, and an awesome goal. But I'm going to tell you, goals without activity and a plan behind them are only wishes. And so I love the fact that Arbonne is not magic. It's totally just math. And some good numbers to know when we're dealing with ASVPs, which ASVP stands for Arbonne Smart Value Pack. Those, as many of you know, are the packs that we really promote. They're the best deal. They're a great lingo to do is they're what most people do, because people like to do what most people do. So that's a really great statement to use. These are our ASVP packs. They're our best value. They're what most people do. The nutrition pack is a qualifying volume of 317. So that's a great number to know. And then our RE9 anti-aging line is a qualifying volume of 340. And those are great numbers to write down, because when you're doing your numbers, when you're setting your goals, they say, how do you eat an elephant, right? Everyone's heard that. It's one bite at a time, right? And so when you're setting a goal, and we really need to teach people to really understand our 2,500 building block, because that is the essential thing of everything we do. Because when you do 2,500 for 3 months, right, you're district manager. When you do 2,500 a month and then you teach 3 other people to do 2,500 a month, that's where you're area manager. And when you do 2,500 a month and you teach 15 other people to do 2,500 a month, and they don't have to all be direct to you, that's where your region, right? Does anybody know what the number is, National Vice President? How many 2,500 bricks you have to have under you to build a nation? It's actually 64. So those are really good numbers to know and to memorize, because they're very, very easy to visualize in your head. And Arbonne is nothing more than building your house one brick at a time. And so when you take that, I don't know if everyone has their iDevice or their cell phone right by you, but go to your calculator. And I want you to go ahead and put in 2,500. So when you put in 2,500 and you divide that number by 317, what number is everyone coming up with?
788.88.
7.88. So let's round it up to 8, right? Yeah. So basically, that's just 8
packs,
nutrition sets to sell to get your 2,500 brick. So that's one way to go about doing your brick. And I'm going to tell you, one of our new consultants, actually she's on Sylvia's team, she did her 2,500 brick in one meeting last month. And so it's all about inviting the right people as well. But on average, we say that when you do an event, each event is worth roughly $500 worth of volume. And so how many events do we need to get that 2,500 brick? 5, right, exactly.
Right.
So it can be a combination, you guys, of both, of events and ASVPs, or, I mean, it can be all ASVPs. Or, you know, it's going to be a variety of just even different orders. Like, you know, someone might just buy a CC cream or a protein powder, right? But going into the month, when you set your goals, you really need to have a plan of action backing that. And so once you have that plan of action backing that, you can then move out and work your plan. And so that's why I highly recommend always having 3 months of blank calendars, you know, printed off. And then with those calendars, you're filling it only with your Arbonne activity. And I highly recommend that you know your calendar, because when you know your calendar, you know what dates in July, in August, in September that you can book your events. When an opportunity comes up and someone says, yes, I would love to host for you, that's when you can say, and you can seize the moment, and you can say, well, I have July 14th or July 25th open. Which one works best for you? And so we really never want to schedule our calendar or our event with what day works best for you, because you know, that is so broad, so open. And really, Arbonne is all about working your calendar around what works best for you. And so I highly recommend that you know your calendar, and you know your calendar 3 months out. And so going back to the goal setting, there's a great weekly sheet that's really phenomenal for really setting out, you know, what you're going to do. And so it might not look like this, but this is such a great sheet just to track, right? It talks about, you know, booking 2 parties, and then executing them. It is, you know, tracking your asks, as well as follow up with your past clients, your coffee appointments. And then this right here is one of the most important things that we can do, which is personal development. I can't tell you how important it is to at least pour into yourself 15 minutes a day. Because when we pour into ourselves and we pour that belief into ourselves, that's what's really going to help us launch out and do all the other activities. And so when we are tracking and actually, you know, following what we're doing on a weekly basis, we're really, you know, being honest with ourselves. And the bottom line is that champions know their numbers. You know, we talk about telling the Arbonne story to 40 people a month. And obviously, when we are telling that story in a group setting, we're leveraging our time, right?
Yes.
So 30 to 40 people a month. And so let's say we had 6 people at an event times 5, that's 5 events. And so that's a great way to, you know, just tackle your 30 to 40 faces. And there's just some great tools right here on that site. You know, I mean, you can take a piece of paper or take a notebook, but it's great to have the names and phone numbers written down and carried with you. I love the new CRM. Is anybody using the new CRM that Arbonne has put forth? Has anybody take the leap of faith yet to do that? I've dabbled in it, but, you know, to be honest, I haven't used it as I am going to use it, because I am going to use that tool. But it's always great to have your names and your numbers with you. So when you have 5 minutes after, shopping, or 5 minutes between an appointment,
Honey, wait.
to really have
You better be patient.
that opportunity to take advantage of that free times, those nooks and crannies that we have in our life. And so, and then another one that I really can't highly, talk about enough. This is the training that I did a while back on the efficiency coach that was in 1919. His name is Lee Ivy. He talked about writing down the night before just 6 things that were going to move your business forward. He was doing it for a steel company. You can do it for anything, but write those 6 important things down the night before that you are going to accomplish that next day. And there's so much power in your subconscious mind, and everything else just moving you forward. So when your morning hits, those are the first things that you're going to do that are going to move your business forward. And so one thing that I really highly recommend that you do this week is get with your upline and do a strategy call. And I'm going to stop sharing now. Let's see, stop share. Here we go. So I want you to really get with your upline area manager or regional vice president. And I want you to really do that, have that strategy session. And if you have a downline that begins, hear me out, with you reaching out to your downline and doing those strategy calls for them, because their numbers will then be incorporated in your numbers. And that's how you get the full picture of where you're going to be for the month. And so with that, I'd like to open it up for any questions or anything anyone would like to share.
Real quick question.
Yes.
You mentioned on Building Nations Together new documents. Is that what you said? That there'll be new documents uploaded there to update what's out of date?
And so are you talking about the ASVP close sheets?
Whatever is outdated, is that going to be a focus there, or are we just going to be using that website for the training?
So right now, I would use that portal for the training. Andy Buco's just going having some life challenges right now, and so
right.
But
I thought maybe you talked to her and found a way to upload for her, but no.
Yeah, I'm working with her with that. So yeah. The great thing is Arbonne's source is really just supplying so many amazing documents that, and on my Great Things Happening Nation Facebook page, I am going to have the ASVP close sheets. There's a few more that I have found that I really like. One that incorporates the ASVPs, but then one close sheet that also not only includes the ASVPs, but a couple other smaller options and ideas. And so I'm going to upload those on my Facebook page.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And any other documents that you're needing and you can't find, please, reach out to me. So
I'm sorry, ladies. This is Stacy. I logged in a little bit late. I didn't get what portal was that you were looking at. Can someone put that in chat or?
So basically, building Nations Together. Andy's site for training is still just a phenomenal site for goals, for so many different things.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
Yep. So, any other questions or comments? I know there were a couple people that are on here that were at the Keith Kochner training. First off, is there any other questions? Okay.
Well, I'll comment about the training on Friday, which was really phenomenal. And it was the first time that I attended. So, I got a lot of takeaway and was thankful that I was able to bring my son, who's not too young to be there. He's 23 young, but he benefited from all of the information that came forth. And then so much of it aligns with even what you as a leader and what we are striving to do here with Arbon. So that was the other plus to that as well. And it wasn't just specific to business, of course, but just, our lives as individuals and then collectively, and how we can then, expound and bounce off of that from there. So it was really, really nurturing. So I'm excited to put that in the tools that, Mentor Fish will provide to use for myself and then for the team and then as well as my family. So yeah, thanks. That was just an added bonus in being able to be present and to see, how much more that we can actually do and with some help. Because we can't do it all alone. And like you said, we don't come into Arbon knowing how to do this business, but we learn as we go. And then one great takeaway that I loved for everyone here to share with you is that he said that, as people need to recognize the fact that when mentors come into our lives are necessary, but when they come into our lives, that we should grab hold of that, of course, good mentors, and note that their hindsight is our foresight to take us to where we have to go. So that's what we have in Angela, and that's what we can be and will be for our team members that are joining us as we go forward, because we can provide them with those step-in tools that they need for the things that they're coming on to learn, which can make that journey easier with all of us working together. Yeah. So thanks, Angela.
Awesome share.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to recognize a few people that are on here. That was just Sylvia Castell from Atlanta, and she is a new district manager. So hands in the air for Sylvia. And
Woo!
I also see Brenda Gibbs is on as well, and she is a district manager in qualification.
Yay!
And she's got 3 new people that joined her team this month, so she's rocking and rolling. And I want to give a shout out to the West Coast, to Nicole, who is still in area manager qualification and is just rocking it with 20 consultants on her team. So,
yay, Nicole!
So just really proud of all of you guys. And so basically, I just want to encourage you to step out and activity. As Keith said, knowledge is the principal thing, but step out in that activity, because that activity is going to give us the experience and really understand even more what we're doing. Don't be, they say analysis sometimes can equal paralysis. So don't get so overwhelmed by information that it paralyzes you. The best thing you can do is fill your calendar and move forward and work your calendar. And so with that, go out and just make those one-on-one appointments, those group events. And a couple other announcements that I want to talk about is there is a consultant training in Oklahoma coming up the first week in August. It's not a training that I will be attending, but I will be posting it in Great Things Happening Nation. There are several people from my team that will be attending this training, and it will be phenomenal. There is an RVP, NVP training specifically that Donna Johnson is hosting for RVPs and NVPs that I will be attending at the end of August. And so I truly want to just dive in and be the best leader that I can be for all of you. And so I will be attending that training instead. But if you are able, I know Stacy Gast is considering going to that training, and I know Megan is taking a bunch of people to that training as well in August in Oklahoma. So I would highly recommend it if you're interested in going. And another thing is that our team meeting here in these Alexandria, Virginia area is going to be at my home next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. So we're going to be Zooming people in too, so you're welcome to Zoom in, but that's next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And then also Impact Training is already up, and that is going to be in various different places in the nation. So check that out, and we're going to really be packing the house with that as well. So you definitely want to get that on your calendar. So with that, I just want to thank you for tuning in to our first Lunch and Learn here on the first Monday and third Monday of the month. And, if I can help in any way, I am here for you, and just so blessed and grateful for all of you on my team.
Thank you, Angela.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Angela.
Great to see everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Good to see everyone. Blessings.
Bye.
And I'll post this recording as well.
Okay, great.
Thank you.